up, beautiful people, and welcome. In this video, we're talking about the slope formula. Now, in the previous video, we did talk about how to identify slope or how to find slope if the line is on a graph. Now, in this video, we're talking only about examples where they only give you 2 points without the graph, and you need to find what the rate of change is, what the slope is. You could always graph those points and figure it out that way. However, sometimes you don't have graph paper around, you don't have a computer around, so that could be a little bit more challenging. In front of you, you have the slope formula. Slope formula is m equals y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Okay, so one thing I need to point out is that the 2's on top, so the y2 is on top of the x2. So the 2's match and also the 1's match. So the 1 on the y matched with the x1. Now also matching are the y's on top and both x's on the bottom. Now what are these y1s, y2s, x2s, x1s? Those are the numbers or the ordered pair of the x and the y value. So basically like your points. So let's say, for example, these are your 2 points. So they give you 0.1 and they give you 0.2. Now this is a point, like an ordered pair. Because in each point you have an x and a y value, we need to figure out which one's 1, which one's 2. So this is going to sound a little bit silly, but hopefully this is a good way to remember it. Let's say you're walking. Let's say here's a little dude. Right, here's a little dude and he's walking. And he sees his first x, or she sees. So let's say this is me, I'm walking. This is my first x. So I'm going to put a 1 there. I have to explain to my first x why I left them. Again, so I'm walking, I see my first x. I have to explain to them the reason why I left them. Then I keep walking and I see my second x. Now, the reason I'm no longer with the person number 1 is different than the reason I'm no longer with the person number 2. So I'm going to give him my second reason why I don't want to be with them. Another way you can think of it is that. Easier is just x1, y1, x2, y2. But if you want a cool little story, there it is about me and my x's. So how do you set up the formula? Here's your formula. Here's your labeled points. To set up the formula, you're going to do what I call a setup. You're going to do the formula equals bubbles. So I call these bubbles. Now you want to put the parentheses in, but nothing inside of them. And the reason you want to do that is because you want to have those empty bubbles so you can write in those values. So there's going to be 4 things that you're going to put into the formula. So this is always going to be your setup. Set up the problem this way. Step number 2 is you're going to take your points and you're going to label them again. So I'm walking. Here's my little dude. I'm walking. Here's my first x, my first reason why I am no longer with them. Here's my second x. Here's my second reason why I'm no longer with them. So what you're going to do is you're going to plug in numbers and solve. Let me write out my setup again. So here's bubble minus bubble, bubble minus bubble. And I'm going to take each value and put it into my equation. So this bubble right here is my y2 bubble. I'm writing it on top because that's not what I want. I want the actual number. So here's my y1 bubble. Here's my x2 bubble. Here's my x1 bubble. So for example, if I had two things, let's do 5 and 7, 3 and 1. You're going to label your points. Here's my first x. Here's my first reason why. Here's my second x. Here's my second reason why I am no longer with them. You're going to take your y2. Here's your y2. You're going to take that number and you're going to put it into that y2 bubble. and that number is 1. Then you're going to take your y1 number and put it into the y1 bubble, and that number is 7. Then you're going to take your x2 number and put it in your x2 bubble, and that number is 3. And lastly, let's see if I have enough highlighters for this. Nope, I already used green. Which highlighter did I not use? Blue. I did not use blue yet. So here's my number for x1. Here's my bubble for x1. So I'm going to put 5 in my x1 bubble. Now you're going to plug in the numbers, which is what we just did. Now we're going to solve. So how do I solve this? Well, I'm going to see if there's anything that need to be simplified. For example, if there's anything like 2 negatives next to each other, that makes a positive. I don't have too many things to do, so I have 1 minus 7 divided by 3 minus 5. Use a calculator if you need to. 7 take away 1 is 6, but I have more negatives. 5 take away 3 is 2, but I have more negatives. So this is negative 6 divided by negative 2. Negative 6 divided by negative 2 is a positive 3. So my slope, my little m slope, is positive 3. Now you can put the plus if you want or not. That's up to you. If you want to just leave it as 3 like that, that is okay as well. All right, beautiful people, this wraps up this video. There's going to be a part 2 with lots of examples. Bye.